Welcome back, everybody, to episode 28 of the Jader and Kyle show. It's been a couple week break that we've had. We haven't been on a little bit, just had cancellations, iPhones came out and all that. But Jader, it's good to see you again, man. It's good to be back.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. And I'm so excited about the film that we're talking about.
Oh, are you?
It's gonna be quite the comeback, but we'll get into that film later.
I know we decided that what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a 2-week break and come back with a bang right now. Like, this is gonna be such a high profile film. Oh, no. Everyone's gonna know what we're talking about.
I can't wait, and I'm super excited to dive deep into this film. But yeah, man, you said it. iPhones came out. To be honest with you, I haven't been working. I requested off because I had the I had my midterm today, in fact. And aced it, for those of you that care. And I don't know, man.
We expected at this point. If you didn't get an A, then you're not allowed on the show anymore.
Seriously, dude. No. Let me tell you, man. That shit was rough. Like, I literally had to dive deep and be like, what the hell, dude? I thought I don't know why, for some reason, there was going to be a little bit of more, they went, for the midterm, they went first 4 chapters out of the 22. So I was focusing more on the more medic stuff, and they kind of went more with airway, which makes sense because as EMT, you can't really do much. And for those of you that don't know, I'm going to that's a
you're going to be a firefighter.
Well, that's the last step. I'm doing EMT now. Hopefully, I graduate and get certified by December, January. I will start medics. Medics is about a 9-month program, and then after that is off to fire school. So I still got a long way. But yeah, man. So I had to really dig deep in that brain of mine to really. Thank God my mind works the way that it does, and my memory is pretty good overall. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get an A. It was good to get an A. I kind of feel like this weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Even one of my cancellations last week was that I was like, dude, I can't. I have to study. But it's been fun, man. It's been fun. And then tomorrow, I think it's the first day that I'm gonna be able to do nothing, no reading. I'm taking a break, so no reading.
We need those days. We need those days every now and then. Just sit
there's
back.
No work, no commit, nothing. There's literally I can sit around and do nothing, and I'll probably have a blast.
You're gonna be in your hookah room all day.
There you go, bro. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, man. What about you? How's those iPhone sales coming?
Not too good. To be completely honest with you, no one's got money right now. It's a pandemic. We're all it sucks.
You guys have pros?
Yeah, we have pros, but they only sent us oh no.
Not since launch. Our store has never gotten them. I have a bunch of friends of mine that want pros. Apparently, 12s have been flying off the shelves. But everyone wants pros, so a lot of people have been holding off. They come in and they want pros, and we don't have any. We've been doing ship tos, but those instant gratification people are like, no, I'll just wait until the phone's here. I don't want to wait a week or whatever. Those have been walking out apparently. I actually talked to my boss today to see how everything was going, and he's like, the pros is what's killing us. So we'll see when the Max comes out, man, because apparently they everywhere in Kendall, at least T-Mobile stores, did not get any pros. Have not gotten any pros. That's pretty insane. Wow. So feel blessed, guys. Feel blessed.
Well, I know people are very interested in our phone conversations. So we're going to move on from that. Sorry to disappoint you guys. You're probably wondering why my background looks different today, why everything's going in a different setting, different lighting today. It's because of our special guests. We got someone new coming on the show today. And she is someone who's very nice, very special. You've probably seen her arms swinging. That's because, boom, Miss Jacky Krasne is here.
Hey, I was expecting a screen to pop out like usual, dude.
No, not today. Not today. We are in the house today. Jacky.
Kyle did the old trick. That was great.
Yeah, it's I went before, right? Jacky, welcome to the show.
Hi.
It's so great to have you on for once. We're talking a very special movie to you today, but before we get to that, tell the audience about yourself. Who are you?
So I actually work with Kyle at Verizon. I didn't know you work at a Verizon too?
No, at T-Mobile.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm at the competitor. I'm the competitor, yeah. If you want to call us that, I don't know. You know?
Oh, definitely a competitor. Well, not really. We're number one, but it's fine.
I'm not afraid to say it. They pay my fucking bills. You guys are better service, but we're cheaper, so we're gonna get more people. So it is what it is. Get money either way.
Yeah, tell us about yourself, Jacky.
So I just started working at Verizon. I just moved to Florida, actually. I'm from Chicago.
We have a Chicago person in here.
Yeah.
Look at that. So you can actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you can actually solidify, right, that you guys have the best pizza over people in New York.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Right? Deep dish pizzas kicks New York pizzas out.
For sure.
Thank
For
you
free.
for
You agree?
I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. Giordano's is one of my favorite pizzas of all time. Like it's right up there for me.
Everybody fights with me about Illuminati's.
Oh, okay. I haven't had that though. So the reason why I like stirring up shit is because half of our crew is from New York, and it's the constant fight that we have. So see, there you go. There it is, and there it is. See, so I like eat soup.
So Chicago. Why are you here in Florida then?
That was my next question. Why are you here?
Oh, okay. Well, COVID, man. So I was a realtor in Chicago, and then I worked at Sleep Number and sold beds. And so when everything closed down, they weren't renting out anything anymore. And so I was just kind of the stores were closed, so I couldn't work. So then I was like, well, since I have to start over anyways, I want to go somewhere warm. So I just kind of popped on over here. I didn't really plan it at all. I just kind of showed up like a few days after the idea popped in.
We all need
That's actually pretty amazing. And that's kind of scary during a pandemic to do that move. That's actually really awesome. And Florida, obviously, because it's warm.
Well, Chicago's locked down. Like, you can't do anything in Chicago. There's no, there wasn't any renting anymore. There wasn't open houses. There's nothing I could, do. So, but Florida was super open because you guys just don't follow laws down here.
We don't give any fucks around here.
Yeah.
At all. So, okay. And how do you like it so far?
I like it a lot. I haven't explored too much because I've been working and my car broke down when I first moved here. So I just kind of started driving. So I'm exploring now, but I haven't seen anything really besides the beach.
The beach. I haven't gone to Orlando, Disney. Places yet?
No, that's it. No.
You got to put that in that. I mean, theme park wise, you go north. When you're born a party, you come down to Miami and we'll have a good old time.
We don't have theme parks either. We have Six Flags. You know what that is? It's like a carnival, a little bigger than a carnival. Okay.
Oh no, we gotta change that shit.
Have you been
to Six Flags? I've been to the one in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I've never been to Six Flags before. I've done all.
She's not wrong. They have cool rides. I mean, roller coaster wise, they have. But when you're thinking about theme, like how again, Islands of Adventure, you have a whole Marvel. And it looks like you're in the middle of a comic book. That doesn't exist over there. You know, it's just they have like a Bugs Bunny painted on the wall. That's it. That's as far as you get.
It's just a carnival with some names on it. That's it.
Sort of. Yeah. Absolutely. She kind of hit that nail on the head. But that's awesome. Welcome to Florida. We are a little crazy.
Yeah.
We don't follow any rules. But you definitely
Florida are probably
true. I've already seen so true.
But yeah,
Jacky, let's get into a couple of movie things for you then right now. This is a movie show, and we like to talk about movies all the time. So when you are having just a fun, happy day, what kind of movies do you like to put on?
I rewatch a lot of movies. Whenever I need a good laugh and I want to for sure get a good laugh, I'll play the same funny movies that I like. The Hangover is always a good one.
Yes, I love
Bridesmaids is always one of them. Snatch, because Amy Schumer is amazing. I don't know. I felt like you weren't gonna. I felt like you were gonna immediately tag Amy Schumer. I feel like people normally do when I bring her up.
No.
I love her.
I love Trainwreck.
I haven't seen Trainwreck.
That's her best film.
I've been meaning to. Really?
That's hands down her best film.
The first 10 minutes of that movie is amazing. He's the trashy boy that she's dating at the beginning of it, and there's this whole talk dirty to me scene that happens.
I bet
it's hilarious. It's incredible. I actually saw Trainwreck not too long ago, so I hadn't seen it since it released, and then I had to do it. I had to see it for the show, not for this show, for another show. And I was catching up on my Judd Apatow films, and that was one of the ones that I haven't really gone back to. I've only had seen that movie that one time, and it made me fall in love with that movie all over again. The movie is awesome. For me, it's her best role. I'm not crazy about her. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
Steve doesn't like her either.
That's New York right there.
That's New York guy.
But again, not a fan. But I found her awesome in Trainwreck. I thought that was like, shut up, Steve.
Yeah, Steve's having bad opinions in the chat right now.
Seriously.
Anyways, so you're a big Amy Schumer fan. You're a big fan of The Hangover. You said, what was the other one you mentioned?
Oh, Due Date. Okay, Due Date. I forgot how funny that movie is, and then I saw it randomly the other day, and I couldn't stop laughing.
Have you seen
Really?
Due Date.
I saw it once. I saw it one time, like I think when it came out.
Do you remember who directed it, right?
Huh?
Remember who directed it?
Yeah, that's Todd Phillips.
Right. So that was his follow-up to The Hangover. And it was like
That's probably why it kind of like went like it did for me, because The Hangover is like such a high caliber film. I mean, again, I haven't seen Due Date. Maybe I'll find it. Like, again, Trainwreck, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, it was really good. I liked it, but never cared to go back. And when I went back to see it, I'm like, man, this movie's really fucking funny. Mm-hmm. So maybe I remember the one thing in Due Date, but the thing is that they kind of stole a joke from another movie. But the one thing that I love, and it just makes me laugh because it makes me laugh in the movie they stole it from, was with the ashes, when they toss the ashes and it hits them in the truck. But they copied. Yes, so that part is hilarious. But they copied that from The Big Lebowski. You know, so that's why I'm like, man. Wow. You got cut off, dude. I couldn't hear you.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is from The Big Lebowski, but it's still funny. Like,
yeah, no, I know. Again, I laughed hard as hell, and I was like, man, it's just that I feel like that's a joke that's never gonna get old for me. Like, it's one of those jokes that's just gonna hit me direct to the funny bone because I find that shit hilarious.
Jamie Foxx drinks it and then he just spits it out. He's like, "Get the fuck out of my house!"
Yeah, dude.
I think one of my favorite for that movie is it's that whole sequence where he just loses it after he falls asleep while driving. He spits on the dog, and then they're in the truck talking to each other. And Jamie Foxx is like, "You got to fix that, man. You don't want that bad karma." He's like, "Fine, get over here, Hollywood." And he puts his head up and he walks like a model.
Yeah.
Down, he's like, "Do you see what I'm dealing with here?"
So funny, dude. No, actually, one movie I saw like 2 days ago, and it was one of those. I'm gonna have it as background noise, but I ended up watching the movie again. It was whatchamacallit? Oh, I Love You, Man. And we talked about it on this show. I freaking love that. I told you I love that movie, man. And we were talking about it because my girlfriend went to a bachelorette party, and they were guessing the bride's favorite movie, and everybody's saying all these movies that she's mentioned before, like, and things that she has, like, you know, like she has Little Mermaid things all over the house. So they were like, "Oh, the Little Mermaid," and some people were like, "Oh no, it's Star Wars. She loves Star Wars." She's like, "No, love it, love it, love it," and no one, not even her best friend, knew. And her favorite movie was Chocolat. So then, so then my girlfriend was like, chocolate, and then she taking the line from I Love You, Man. She goes, "No, it's chocolate." And he goes, "It's chocolate. You're fucking English. I mean, you're an American. You're not French." And then she didn't get the joke, so then I had to send her because she's like, when Steph got home, she's like, "Babe, no one got my joke," because my girlfriend's a big movie. She loves movies as well. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "No one got my joke." She goes, "You know what her favorite movie is?" And then I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Chocolat." I'm like, "You mean chocolate?" And she goes, "Right." She goes, "You would have been there. You would have gotten it." And then I send her that whole "I Love You, Man" scene to her future sister-in-law, and I was like, "Educate yourself next time you say this is your favorite movie." And she's like, "I'll watch it tonight." And she texts me the next day. She's like, "That movie was hilarious." I'm like, "I told you, you got to watch that movie." I Love You, Man.
Yeah, I Love You, Man.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't
It's
seen
so
it in a
funny.
while, but yeah, it's a good
so
movie.
funny.
Slapping the bass. Slapping the bass, man.
But yeah,
I love Paul Rudd so much.
yeah.
All right, so we've talked about some of your favorite movies you like to watch. We talked about your coming here from Chicago. So let's just talk about. Let's move into the movie now. I mean, so when I asked you to come on the show,
Time out. Sorry to interrupt.
go for it.
Steve wrote, Chicago was a miss. Schumer was a miss. Dude, they saved it.
Okay.
Talking about Jacky. You just wait for this film, Steve. Let's get into it.
Oh, come on. Okay. Listen, it's a romance kind of thing, and it's a love movie.
So let's set it up like this. So when I asked you to come on the show, Jacky, I said, "What's your favorite movie?" And immediately, she's been telling me about this movie for a couple of weeks now. That
Okay.
In Your Eyes is her favorite movie of all time. I don't know about you, Jader. I'd never heard of this movie before in my entire life.
At all. What I asked you, I'm like, what the hell is that? What do we watch? What do you mean? What do we watch?
Listen,
In Your Eyes.
Netflix, okay, because it is a great movie. Yeah,
We'll talk about that.
It's Netflix.
So check it out. And it's not that. No. We'll get into it. Now the thing was that I'm like, I know if I see a trailer for this movie, I'm probably not gonna want to watch this shit. So I'm gonna go in there as blind as I can. I did want to see who was in it. So when I saw a cast full of people that I didn't know until but that was at first glance. I looked, I'm like, don't know. And then I was like, great, it's a freaking movie full of people I don't fucking know. Whatever. So today, again, for my midterm, I got off. I crashed on my bed, uniform, boots, and all. Just crashed on my bed. Woke up to a bunch of missed calls from Kyle. Well, one missed call and a bunch of other missed calls. So I call him, and he's like, "Hey, dude, did you see the movie yet?" I was like, "No, I got to see that shit right now. I just woke up." Completely dashing this movie before.
It's like 2 hours ago.
I also just watched it.
This is true. So we're gonna get into this.
Yeah.
So the first time I heard the name In Your Eyes, I thought of the famous song from Say Anything. Who sings? Is that Phil Collins?
See, In Your Eyes for me, I went straight to The Weeknd. The Weeknd has a song called In Your Eyes, and I'm a big Weeknd fan. So, but when I saw the year, I was like, nope, not it.
No, that's not it. In Your Eyes, I thought of the movie Say Anything, where John Cusack's standing outside with the boombox, and that song's playing on the radio. It's like, oh, is this a homage to Say Anything? No, it's not.
Not at all.
This is a completely different movie. So we're going to start with this. Jacky, let's just do this. Why is this your favorite movie?
Okay, listen. I went through a really bad breakup when I was scrolling through Netflix and this movie popped up, okay? Because it used to be found on Netflix. It's not.
This was on Netflix?
Yes, it was. That's where I found it, okay? And it deserved to be on there. They made a mistake taking it down, okay?
I was thinking Hallmark, if anything. The Hallmark channel. Keep going.
Those are cheesy and badass. This movie is not that, okay? It's great.
No.
But I was going through I was just super sad and just eating ice cream in bed, and I saw that movie In Your Eyes. And I want to see what this is about. And it was, I don't know, it was a great movie where this girl gained confidence in herself and didn't, she learned to not be controlled by a man. She fell in love, and then she was able to help fix his life and make him more responsible and accountable. And I don't know, it's just they each changed their own lives and made each other themselves better, but then did it with each other without even, I don't know, they're able to fix themselves while being with each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is why she's here, to be able to break this stuff down for us.
No. And so, I was shitting on it before. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I will start with that. Yeah, I actually kept me watching because I'm like, oh, this shit is interesting. I'm like, I wonder. Okay, so basically what this is basically they have some sort of metaphysical connection with each other, if you will. They can see things through their eyes, hence the title of the movie. It's complete strangers from, one side of the world, I was going to say. Dylan, is that his name? Derek Dylan? Dylan is in New Mexico. Rebecca is in New Hampshire, and for some reason they've been connected since they were little kids. Even when they had a slap in the face, the other person feels it. They kind of talk to each other through their minds. It kind of science fiction feel to it.
Right.
And that kept me interested. I'm not gonna lie, where I was just like, man, this is pretty interesting. It's not bad. And you laugh at the little nice things they do for each other, the funny things when the guy's like telling her to fix her car and all that things. I'm like, man, it's a sweet film. I didn't like, and I'll say this from right now, didn't like the ending of the movie. I felt like they had no ending. Like they're like, all right, dude, we gotta rush this shit because we don't know how to end this film. So it kept me intrigued, and I want to say the movie kind of lost me in the last 20 minutes. And it's pretty predictable. I kind of saw what happens at the end, and I don't want to ruin it for all the audience that are gonna be dying to see this movie after we finish talking about it. But I don't want to ruin the end of the film.
We're not setting up good so far. So we've been talking about it before we hopped on the show, but I haven't told her exactly what I thought about the movie yet.
Good. So that's the way you should have kept it.
Here's the thing.
I actually liked it. I did. I liked it. I actually did. The whole telepathic thing that he talked about is something that I really enjoyed and connected to. And I think it was the abusive boyfriend that really hooked you as an audience member, because you're like, all right, she needs to get out of this as soon as possible. And then I find out, I text her, I'm like, oh wait, that's not her boyfriend. That's her husband. So she's really stuck in this situation. And then as the plot starts to go on, further details come out about what he's done to her and what we can, or where we're going from that. And honestly, I liked her story better than his, but I thought just because she's a better actress than him.
Yeah.
But their chemistry, their romance kind of, it worked. It's not bad. And then
I felt terrible because I was 20 minutes in the movie and I was like, who the fuck is she? And where the fuck have I seen her from? I was dying the whole 20, and then I'm like, The Big Sick. And she plays Emily in The Big Sick. And I was like, it's fucking Zoe Kazan. I'm like, and I don't know why in the title I didn't like read any. The only thing I did read was that Josh Whedon wrote this film. And I was like, what the hell? This is I
didn't see that coming at all.
So that another thing that while the credit and it says written by Josh Whedon, I was like, I'm like, this might be good. We'll see, because he's hit or miss, but he's usually hits. My girlfriend saw it with me, and I told her, I'm like, hey, look, I'm gonna see some crappy film. You can go downstairs if you want, but I got to see this shit. And then she goes, what is it called? In Your Eyes. She went, because she likes comics. She doesn't really like sappy films. She read what it was about, I guess, on IMDb. She goes, I'm gonna say this actually sounds really interesting. I was like, really? And she goes, I think you're gonna like it. You like shit. I'm like, what do you mean? But when she meant that, she didn't want to say science fiction. But it has a science fiction kind of like vibe to it. So I really dug it, to be honest with you, until the end. The ending is literally what kind of killed it for me.
I see what you mean about like the ending, and I don't want to give it away either, but they did rush it. I like the suspense they create at the end right before they're finally able to like touch each other for real.
But that all happens within 20 minutes, So I actually paused it because I was ordering food. And when I saw, because it was I'm like, oh shit, this shit's getting real. And when I paused it, I saw that I had 20 minutes left. I'm like, they're going to wrap this movie up in 20 minutes? What the hell is this? So I was already like getting in there pissed off. Again, I mean, can we talk spoilers? Like, because I feel like we're gonna dive deep if we
get to the categories. We really got to dive into it. So I mean, it's fine to say it. I'm with you, Jader. When it comes to, I was telling her earlier, it takes a turn like with 20 minutes to go. When he lifts her up,
that's when it gets so dark and sad out of nowhere. It's just like the whole mood, everything just like flips.
Kind of goes out. Yeah.
I saw something coming between the husband and her. But I didn't see that coming.
See, I saw that happening, and I'm like, but I didn't see the reason why I didn't see it happening because of the reason why it happened, because of the stupid friend that went to go snitch basically. I didn't see it happening because of that. He was trying to diagnose her from before that. You get me?
Right.
Like, so I was like, and I said it. I saw a different ending in my eyes. I saw what I saw. Well, I mean, we can talk about that a little bit later. But I'll tell you where I thought the movie was going, which was again somewhat predictable because I knew that was going to happen to her. What happens to her at the end? I'm like 100% that's going to happen, and he has to do something. That's how they're going to see each other for the first time. But it was the motive that was different in my opinion. That I thought the motive was going to go a little bit different. But we'll get there.
For people who are unaware, she comes from she's in a wealthy family, and he's an ex-con who have gone on some hard times. He's been arrested before. And I think that's something I really liked the most was at the end how his criminal skills came in
to save her.
I thought that was brilliant writing right there.
But they both saved each other in weird ways. She stopped him from committing the crimes and to get a real job and to fix his life. And then when he taught her to be a little bit bad and step out and to be herself and
I mean her picking the lock and then him saying
he corrupted her and then she made him better.
Better, yeah. Agreed.
Man, I felt the same as you going into it, saying "Oh boy, here we go." there's a sappy Netflix.
And you know what? Not to sound like pompous dickheads that we sound like right now, but it's I never heard of this film. It must be trash. That's honestly where I went. I was never even heard of this fucking movie. And us, and it just shows how. I mean, at least for me, I'm well, you're a dick. You should have given this shit a fair chance.
Well, these movies slip through the cracks every now and then. You just saw how many.
I didn't even know this had a movie theater release.
It was in theater. See, I didn't
watch it.
I think it went to the theater. It has a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm looking now. 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 91% of Google users like this movie. Those are way higher numbers than I like. Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel for people who never mind.
No, go ahead.
I just feel it's kind of confusing for people who don't really know what this movie's about. These people, the characters we're talking about, they never talk or see each other in person. But they can hear each other just through their thoughts. So they don't see each other throughout the whole movie, and that's what makes it so crazy because they're so connected the whole time. I just feel it's confusing for people who don't who haven't looked this up yet.
I think it's fair to say that we have the #1 fan of this movie in the entire world on this show right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can understand what this movie is.
All right, so let's get into Joss Whedon real quick, the writer of this film. He is known for writing female characters really well. When it comes to something even the Avengers movies, people love Scarlett Johansson in those films because of what he was able to do with her. I never saw
the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I never saw the show Firefly. He also did that, but I know people love what he did there. So to see that he did a romance film kind of came out of nowhere to me. I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, he also wrote Cabin in the Woods.
That's right.
You haven't, so it's
we're talking about the horror movie.
It's like a horror satire.
Yeah.
So he wrote that. Avengers. Obviously, he Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What else did he write? He's written some stuff, man.
Dream, right? Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he did quite a few things, and obviously he's not a very popular person right now, considering what happened on Justice League. But
let's not go there, man.
No, we're not going to get into it.
Let's not go there. But yeah.
So
he's hated by DC fanboys. Let's be clear. He's hated by DC fanboys only. That's all it is.
Yeah, we love their Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
But anyways, you probably don't know what we're talking about.
You're in your own world now.
Yeah, he's got a whole past going on right now. So what did you think about the writing of this film then, Jader? Coming from Joss Whedon's end.
Again, it wasn't bad. It keeps you engaged. It had its corny moments, like a lot of romantic films. No knock on the genre, but it is what it is, But that again, it kept me wanting to see more. I'm like, damn, where is this going? Like, I was intrigued. I really was intrigued. To the point where the movie actually froze on me because the internet was like shaky and it froze. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like I was into it, you know? And again, it just took me out right at the end. It's the last 20 minutes because I was like, I wanted to see how it was going to wrap up. It's just, I felt like the ending was really, really weak in my opinion. But overall, their journey, I laughed. I really laughed a lot. I felt like it was pretty endearing, where they were getting to know each other, where you obviously know that they're gonna fall in love with each other because they have this obviously strong connection. But the journey on how they got there, I thought it was awesome. The scene that I loved, to be completely honest with you, was when
is this your best scene?
No, it's not my best scene, but I thought it was a very cool scene, funny, and again, like I'm like, man, they're like really vibing, and I like that. Where she's looking for her pictures, and he's in the car wash, and he's just talking to her, obviously looking like a fucking madman. But she's like, "Oh, turn that song up," and he has that boombox next to him, and he turns it up, and he starts dancing, and she's dancing, and I'm like, man, that's really cool. Like, I don't know, that scene like really stuck out to me. So I thought that was, I don't know, just the way that they were just vibing, where you're seeing it, you know, up close and personal. The way she was calling him a pansy for not being able to talk to a girl at a bar and all that stuff, and trying to give him, she's like, and I like the line where she goes, oh, always compliment a girl on what they're wearing because it shows that you're paying attention. So you're not giving her that cliche line of you have nice eyes or you know, whatever, what have you. So I don't know, like little things like that. Again, maybe I'm a sucker for these movies because but I'm like, not really, man, because my friends try to make me watch these stupid Netflix movies, like romantic movies, and I'm like, I'm just not into this shit. But this one, again, besides the ending, I liked it. It kept me watching, and I think that had to do with the writing. So yeah. What about you? What's up with the writing with you, Kyle?
Jader, well, let me ask you a question, Jader. What did Steph think about this movie?
I think I liked it more than she did, but she's not the audience, believe it or not. I probably have more vagina than she does. Like, she's just you already know Steph is really into action films and comedies. Like, that's her shit. Like, if you know, she doesn't like the Fast and Furious movies because they're a little bit much. But you know, give her Die Hard over Notebook any day. You know, she's like, if you give her, hey, you can watch Die Hard or you can watch The Notebook, she's gonna take Die Hard 10 out of 10 times. I'll probably watch The Notebook like 2 out of the 10 times, just to switch it up a little bit.
Every time.
Yeah, I love The Notebook. So and I promise you, Kyle, we will review that movie in this because I will gush over this film. But I absolutely love it. So she liked it. She thought it was interesting. She didn't like the ending either. But she said it. She goes, it's kind of corny. She goes, but it's actually really good. She goes, I thought it was gonna. She again was surprised as well. She's like, I thought it was gonna be a little bit worse than what it was.
It's deep. It gets deep. You think it's going to be stupid because when you read the concept of people just like talking through their minds, like what the heck, but then like it goes deep.
See, like I kind of actually find the concept the most interesting part of this film because all right, we're gonna form a bond, a connection without ever seeing each other in person.
The characters are never in the same like scene together
until the very end. They have one scene together.
So they're acting without this, and you can feel their love without ever seeing them like touch each other ever.
Yeah,
but you can feel it.
And that brings me to the sex scene. So
I laughed so hard.
You laughed. I was like, oh my God, I closed the door.
I laughed so hard. But it was one of those, like, I guess my girlfriend was kind of like digging it. And I went like, I lost because all right, so the sex scene is coming, right? And you know it's gonna come because I even said it. I'm like, wait, does she feel like when he jerks off, does she feel that, or when she's having sex with her husband, does he feel that too? Does
that happen every time, or do they have to tune each other in? Like, hey, you feel that?
Imagine teenagers discovering their bodies for the first time.
So,
accidentally, like, you know, when you're really focused because you don't know how to do it yet. Like, how didn't they accidentally call each other? You know?
Yo, so the whole time I was like, man, they don't feel. But again, they explained that they can disconnect. You know. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm like, all right, that's whatever. I'm like, this is gonna take phone sex to a whole nother level, you know? So I'm like, and then she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, it's coming. They have to have like, and it's putting like Demolition Man to shame. I don't know if you guys have seen Demolition Man, but there's a sex scene. Have you seen it, Kyle? Yeah. The sex scene where in the future they don't have sex with touching. They just put like some helmets on and they feel each other. Like they don't physically have sex. So I was just like, man, this beat Demolition Man. I can't believe I'm fucking saying that shit. So whatever. But the thing is, she's like, whatever. She goes to the room. She walks into the mirror so she can see him, disrobes, and then lays on the bed. And, all of a sudden she's like, I want to feel you. And this man goes, like, dude, it was just, I was like,
I wanted her to like feel his face.
I understand, but the way the actor did it was for me, it was very laughable. I'm not saying that the scene wasn't a nice touch. But it was just it was awkward as fuck, dude.
I loved it.
It was actually kind of beautiful how they did it, and they film it so well too. They're going up her body, and
they only show like parts, so you're like, oh, is that her thigh? What?
And then it feels like it looks like his hands are actually on her,
and they make you blanks,
Yeah, it always stops at that point,
and you're like, oh.
Call me old school. I like the OG way more. I don't know. Like it was for me. I was like I was actually gonna be. I was gonna mention that as my favorite scene, but as a comedy because I laughed so hard. I don't know. That's just me, guys. Sorry.
All right, let's do it now. Let's get into the categories. Our main portion of the show. Let me pull them up here real quick. Jader, you ready with your category answers?
I have not written anything, but we're gonna spitball this shit. Let's go.
I have like 4 of mine.
All right, perfect. We're well prepared on the show. All right, best scene. So let's just dive into one of the big ones. Best scene. Jader, are you there? You froze? Oh no, there he is. Okay. Best scene. Jacky, this is your film. I'm going to start with you here. What is your favorite scene from this movie? Are we just continuing the conversation we just had?
Basically, obviously the sex scene. I mean, it was so powerful. Like it was so powerful. Like everything that they felt. I don't know. We just talked about it, but that was my favorite. But also, even though I know you hate the ending and like the ending was really quick, definitely agree with you on that. When they finally, like, it was like magical when you finally saw them like grab each other and like hug again. It's like, whoa, it was like almost shocking when you saw them like touch because like they hadn't like the entire movie. So it's like you were waiting for that. I don't know. So like sex scene, obviously my favorite. But then when they finally like.
Okay.
See, I'm in on that too because the scene feels natural. It feels like they don't just rush into it. It feels like they built to that point in their connection and their relationship. We're like, okay, now we need to take this next step. Mm-hmm. And it happens like they're both on our hard times. Like I think he had just lost his job.
They needed each other.
Yeah, they were finally there for each other, but not in person. But I don't know. I wonder, it's weird. Like I wonder how that actually would feel to be touching yourself, but are you touching the other person? I don't know.
So have you never been a teenage boy?
Yeah, you know what it's like.
You know exactly what it feels like, dude.
This movie just got me thinking all over the place right now.
I got you. No, I understand what you're saying.
Are you feeling you or are you feeling her?
Yeah, like I wonder what's going on.
Well,
there.
He feels what she's touching. Well, he's feeling himself, she's feeling what he's touching, and he feels what she. So they're both feeling both. I think that you feel both.
And then where does the
pleasure?
Well,
yeah, no, that they have to. I would hope so.
Like
if they stopped at a certain point, I wonder what happened after they hit cut.
Like he feels like his hand here, and then he feels her hand here. Probably. That's how I feel like it probably went because it's not like he's numb to himself.
All right, Jader, let's move on. Well, what is your
crazy ass shit? Jesus Christ. Oh, you know what scene I found? You know what? I like this scene a lot, actually. The date between him and Donna. So where she interrupts, obviously, the date where, he's preparing, he's prepping, and he starts slapping the shit out of his face. But the thing is that I'm like, holy shit, like, obviously she's spazzing out at the restaurant and he's spazzing out at his place. and he's telling her husband to stay out of it. He's like, stay out of this, Philip. And then the chick is like looking at him like, you're a fucking madman, and then goes to the bathroom and sees this guy just slapping his face up. I saw it more as again, not that this movie's a comedy, but I really laughed on that scene too. So I know it was kind of fucked up because she looks, I mean, I'm focusing more on his situation versus hers, because hers is actually pretty sad, where everybody's looking at her like she's fucking insane, But with him, he finally gets this girl because of her, and then even then she was kind of like, she called her a bimbo and all that shit because she's like obviously not feeling this chick. You get that first hint of like a little bit of jealousy, because the whole movie she's like, very like friendly, obviously, very charismatic with each other, but you never see her like, she gets him to date, she tells him to stop being a pansy and go on a date. And then when the date finally comes, it's the first time that you see her like kind of get, show that little sign of jealousy. She got jealous. So from his POV, from his point of view, I like that scene because, again, it's the first time you get that hint, even though it's coming. But you also get their first fight. But then it was her first fight with her husband, where she has to tell her husband, like, oh, wait, do I have to wait until next year for you to talk to me again? Versus him saying, hey, look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have, done what I did, this and that. And then you're like, damn, like they're already clicking better than her and her husband, So that's probably it.
Okay, so I put a moment and then the scene. So the scene is the second time the time when they schedule, like, all right, 10 o'clock tonight, this is when we're gonna meet up. And he stands in front of his wall because he's so insecure about how messy his place is. I love that, because as a guy, you do feel that. Like, I want to clean up, I want to make sure everything looks good. I don't want to look like a slob. And I felt that in him. Like, as I was watching,
around now.
I know she's looking around my place now to make
Spotless,
sure.
by the way.
Just cleaned it.
Every single scene after that scene, his place is tidy. Every single scene.
Wow.
Cleaned it up, and his yard, like, they started making changes in each other.
Started changing the yard and everything. So I was like, that's fucking awesome. Obviously, when they're connecting, they see each other. And then if you notice, right after that scene, every single scene, his place is clean. So when he has a date with her and all that, I was even paying attention because I was like, man, this guy really tied it up. And then his boys would come in and open the beer, and the cap would fall on the floor. I'm like, pick that up, man. That man cleaned the damn up. That's why I noticed. I'm like, damn, the place is tidy every single time after that. It was only messy during the beginning of the film.
Notice that. I honestly never picked up on that.
He even redid his yard, remember?
That's great.
Yeah.
So
like talking to her, he's getting rid of all the shit in front of the yard, he's planting flowers and all that shit. So yeah, man.
The other moment I liked was when he did the badass karate move, where he took out one at the car. He's stealing a car. He takes out one guy and grabs the.
Okay. He goes.
So wait.
Yeah. The way he just.
Yeah, I was like, that made me laugh because it was so cool. It was like when we watched Green Street Hooligans 2 weeks ago, when the one guy is like, hey, if you want to redeem yourself, go save them. And this guy just goes running, drops kicks this guy like he's been waiting for this moment his entire life. So
great.
I love that moment. All right, let's move on. Best line. Jader, I'm going to start with you here, man. Even though you're
with me, dude. I'm not going to remember.
All right, let's do a funny one then. It's the first time they're actually talking with each other, and they're trying to figure out what time zone they're in. And
oh my god, he's from the future.
That was my favorite line in the movie because it's like, he's a little bit of an idiot right there. It's like, no, it's different time zones.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite lines. I know there's some more symbolic ones, and I think we're gonna get to it right now. So, Jacky, what's the best line in this movie?
Okay, so not to be cheesy, but like when he talks about how the best part of him is that he likes is her, like because she's a part of him. Obviously, it's kind of what the whole movie's about, and I thought it was beautiful.
Pull it up right here.
Oh, like the exact quote.
Yeah, I saw it earlier.
What is it? It's like, the best thing about myself, the only thing that I like is you. Boom.
It's deep. It's like he came up with the concept for this movie based on that line, and I'm just going to write around it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not my favorite line at all, but I picked up on it No. I just want to mention this, and because I have more of a question versus it being my favorite line. It's more of a why does he say right at the end, I think the very last line of the movie is this is gonna be weird when they're gonna kiss for the first time. Because
they're touching.
That's it?
I think that's what he meant, because they've connected on every other level.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was more of a connection thing. And then and yeah, I don't know. I was like, bro, this is the moment you've been waiting on. What the fuck you mean it's gonna be weird? Go for it, man. You know? But
he jumps on a train for her. They get together, and could you imagine if it doesn't work out? You know what?
Actually, you're a bad kisser. That kind of sucks.
They're kind of both terrible kisses, to be completely honest with you. Like that, their kiss scenes were so awkward. I'm like, as you can tell, I don't know if they only shot this film on one, like their scenes in one day, and that was it, because obviously it's only one scene. But it was a very awkward kiss. You know what line came to mind actually? Now that I think of it, the when he's talking about barbecuing on the 4th of July, how it was kind of his own concept.
Yeah.
That fucking line killed me. I thought that shit was so hilarious. And she's like, everyone does that. He's like, yeah. But yeah.
All right. So actually, I want to do this right now. It's kind of an unanswerable question. I guess we can answer it. Do you think they stay together after this movie? And the thing is, can they break up because they can still see and feel each other no matter where they go? So are they still together after this movie?
That's a great fucking question.
How long does this relationship last?
In my heart, in my soul, they're together. Okay?
They better be together. I just sat through an hour and 45 fucking minutes. They better be together.
Their souls are connected, okay? Like, find a better, connection than that. What do you mean?
I know, it's kind of soulmate. Yeah.
They're meant for each other. They're still together.
Question. Can she marry him? Because she technically didn't divorce her husband. Aren't you married wherever?
Yeah, and they're not getting married. They're above the law, you know. They're
so the sequel, I said it. Okay, so that was I was like, I was gonna answer the sequel question. Sequel question, this shit is that they're like outlaws and they're like Bonnie and Clyde and shit, but they have fucking just get superpowers and shit. They just start. Josh Whedon can write that shit.
They can scam.
They can definitely come up with a bunch of things.
They can do more with this.
They really can't separate either. Could you imagine?
They can't separate.
If they
clearly separate.
Yeah, but they didn't really explain that well too much. She has to just cock her head and it's gone.
No, she just tuned him out.
So that was okay. So I guess we can talk about it now. My biggest peeve of this film is that they never explain how they're connected. And I felt like that would have been such an interesting way of learning. I felt like the film, not that it could have gone completely different or anything like that, but I feel like I wanted that explanation, because even from the beginning, I'm like, man, how are they connected? That's the first thing I thought about when she's sledding and she hits her head and he's in the classroom and he knocks out. I was like, man, that's in the very first scene. Again, I was like, okay, this is cool. I like this. They're connected in some way. How?
Yeah, because they were connected before the impact of the tree. They were already connected.
Exactly. So I thought maybe if they both bumped their heads at the same time on accident, and for some reason, I mean, as cheesy and fucking corny as that sounds, but it even have it'd be more of an explanation of what they gave us. They didn't give us anything. So I'm like, all right, so how did this happen? Maybe a sequel, prequel, or a sequel explaining how that shit happens would be great,
I honestly don't need it though, to be complete. Not like a sequel, but just an explanation.
It's what kept me watching. That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine you're watching to try to see something? I'm like, I felt like shortchanged at the end,
I guess. I mean, it's kind of
it's so it can mean whatever we want it to be. I think is the kind of thing. For me, I'm like, it means that they were meant to be together. What do we need another answer for?
That's why
I'm satisfied by that. But it's also to leave us to wonder. Everybody can think of it however they want it.
I read it as their soulmates. That's clearly they're the two that could finally break through and find out that, okay, we're meant for each other, we're perfect for each other. Now that they're together, it's gotta, if you thought the sex was good when they were by themselves, imagine what it's like when they're together now. It's probably incredible.
Right?
There you go.
Loved him.
Now Josh Whedon's gonna make that movie.
That's all he can do right now. Casting what ifs. Casting what ifs. Jader, I couldn't find a single thing for casting what ifs on this show. I did my research, couldn't find anything. It means that everybody was perfect for their roles.
That's exactly what it meant.
Just like this movie, it's perfect.
Exactly.
It's just like, I mean. All right, so damn.
Category then, the Mahershala Ali Award for Best Sharpshooter. So the character who does the most in the least amount of time. I'm going to start here. I love Steve Harris as Giddens. I remember him from the movie 12 Rounds. You remember that movie?
I remember him from The Rock. Yeah, the John Cena movie. I remember him from The Rock.
Yes.
So I was like, hey, Steve Harris.
It's that guy. He's one of those.
Yeah. I actually knew his name. But when I saw him, I'm like, Steve, and my staff was like, how the fuck? He's that guy.
He is.
Like, he's not in any major movie, and I'm like, he's in the fucking Rock, and you respect that movie.
Role, but like, as a parole officer, I'm gonna listen to everything he has to say. He's someone who would intimidate me enough to say, all right, I gotta stay straight on this. Not gonna get in trouble anymore. And I thought he was just a really powerful force in the entire film. So that's who I went with. Jader, I'm gonna throw it back to you here. Who's your pick?
That's not fair. That's who I was gonna pick.
Well, then
same thing. No, for me, it was, to be honest with you, he was more impactful because I liked the guy's name is Steve Howie. He's from Shameless, which is the guy he knocks out of the car. So when I saw him, I'm always so excited because he's Kevin from Shameless, and he's such an awesome character in Shameless. Where I'm like, man, this is gonna be awesome. He's in it. He ends up being a dick in this movie.
He played
but he played a really good job. Like I always like seeing him on screen. He has a swagger about him, and it like a very relatable character. And even in the movie, he was very relatable. That scene where they beat the shit out of the guy in the beginning of the bar that hits him with the pole stick. And the guy's like, "Oh, get off him," and he goes, "You're welcome." Like we've been your boys for such a long time. So it was gonna be Steve, but I did like Steve Harris's character a little bit more. I thought I wanted it to be Kevin from Shameless, but it's not. It's for the same reason. Every single scene that he was in, I was just like focused. I thought he was gonna have not a way bigger role, but more of a at the ending where he's kind of like becoming the fugitive. I thought he was gonna be the one chasing him down. Because I still thought we had like another 40 minutes left with the movie, but we didn't. But yeah, Giddens was a dope character.
Yeah.
It's like the bully who finally gets someone retaliates against him and he goes home.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's because I was also his friend too. And like they did care about each other at the same time, even though like he went like in the wrong direction. He only did that because he didn't think his best friend was going to push back. So then when he did, I feel like it was like he was upset like emotionally, not just from like being punched in the face.
Right.
But, like it hurt his feelings.
Look, Jacky, who's your pick for this one?
Okay, so I also started to say our Shameless friend, but I changed my mind. So I made it the Nikki Reed, the girl that plays Donna, the one he goes on the date with. But I chose her because I loved her from that cheerleading movie. I can't think of the name of it right now. It's old.
Jader, you got to know this trivia.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Nikki Reed in a cheerleading movie. Come on.
I remember her from 13.
I don't remember the name of the movie I'm thinking of. But so I loved her character in that. She plays a good bitch in that one too. And but in this one, I like how he had a crush on her forever. Like since he was a kid, it's a small town. He really liked her. He finally got a chance with her, and she was constantly like dropping hints to us as the audience that she's not the one for him. Like, hey, you want to buy me a beer? Like, hey, she was just like expecting stuff and like clearly using and not in it for the right reasons. And then he cooked her a steak and she's like, yeah, this is trash. Like she would like wanted to leave.
She
like,
smelled all the, she's like, yeah, I'm not having this shit. I'm like, you bitch.
Yeah, it was a girl that he wanted for like ever. And then he finally got a shot with her and it like showed him like, this isn't what I want. Like this sucks. And that was like right before he started changing himself too. But I feel like that's when it like something started clicking in his head. Like I don't want to have this life anymore. I don't want that to be who I want, the person I want to be with. Like, I don't know. It made him change himself.
Okay. I like that.
So we move on then to the Bill Murray Award for Best Cameo. Jader, I'll throw it to you to start this one finally. Who's your pick for this award? Did you notice any cameos?
Is that the one who doesn't act very well or something?
No, that's the next one.
No. That's the next one.
What's this one?
This one's just a person who's up in one scene, and you're like, hey, that's that person, and then they're gone.
I mean, it has to go to one person only, I guess. If we're gonna talk cameos. I mean, she had more of a scene. She had like 2 scenes, 3 scenes. This is Jennifer Grey. Is that gonna be my answer?
Yeah, that's
yeah. She's got to be because of the fucking
has to be.
thing.
I mean, she's another one. I didn't like any of her husband's friends or any of that side whatsoever because I thought her husband's the most condescending prick ever. We got to start adding that category onto her shit. Who's the biggest dick in this movie? You know? Because
like I that was the first thing I told you. Like, he's an asshole. I hate this guy from the start.
And he made
the husband, right, Philip?
Who she is.
He sucked. No, when she was saying something, I forgot what word it was, where she goes to be spontaneous and wants to see him for lunch, and then she's like, "Oh, I guess I gotta call ahead to be spontaneous." But right before that scene where she's meeting the doctor, where he's trying to get her diagnosed, he's like, he says something about, "Oh, he's here for research about," and he says the word, and she tries to say the word. He goes, "It's a big word. Like, stop." And I'm like, "You fucking asshole, bro." I'm like, I hate people like that. I hate and he's so condescending the whole movie. The part where she is in the party in the very first scene, and she wants to get another glass, and he goes, "No, she's good." Like, he takes the glass away from her. I'm like, you ass, man. So yeah, if we had an asshole award, it'd be Philip. Philip sucks. But so do all his friends, and Diane, I guess we'll call her the best cameo because that's kind of the only cameo you have in the movie. It was cool to see Jennifer Grey, unrecognizable as fuck from Dirty Dancing, because she does not look the same from Ferris Bueller or from Dirty. Yeah, the one that tells her my lips are sealed. That's Jennifer Grey.
No way. No, she looks wait, her nose. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Holy
Nobody
fuck.
puts baby in the
That's
corner.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's
It's a whole nother movie now.
She's so unrecognizable now, man. Yeah, but yeah, that's Jennifer Grey. So I guess that's the best cameo.
So I went with Cress Williams, who is the car wash boss. He is, if you guys don't know who that name is, he's the guy who plays Black Lightning on the CW show. He's just one of those guys where you're like, he's this powerful, intimidating force, and he's one of them who's now like a bigger name. Like, he in 2014 he was nothing, and now he's got this own TV series. He's a superhero now. So that's that. Like, to me, that's a cameo because I've never seen that guy.
I know him from older movie, actually, from '98.
98.
He's in Fallen with Denzel Washington.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough movies.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, oh shit, because I've never seen any of the CW shows. So
he fell off a while ago, but I recognized the face, and then as soon as he starts talking, like, oh yeah, he's a good car wash boss. Like, that guy's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, what would you do if I was in your position? Or if you were in my position? Like, you're talking to yourself, you're scaring the customers.
No, and you know what? He was 100% right, because I'm like, because again, I've been a manager in fucked up situations where I had to really like let somebody go that I cared about, but the performance wasn't there. Like, you know, they were a cool person, I guess, outside of work, and I'm like, put yourself in my situation, and it's the same thing. So I felt that 100% because I literally had to be like, hey, look, this is how many times these are your sales, and this is how late you've been for the last who knows how long. I'm like, I think I've been pretty cool. And I'm like, what would you do if you were me? And he's like, yeah, I'd get rid of me. And I was like, okay, sorry, man. You know? So when he said that, I'm like, you're absolutely right, dude. How do you prove that? So I thought that was going to be more the ending. Okay, now that we can, I guess I want to talk about it quickly. So I thought the ending was, I knew she was going to hit the asylum as soon as this guy was trying to diagnose her. I'm like, oh, I already see where this is coming.
That's why I don't know why.
100%. I'm like, that's where this is going.
I thought they were going to have a big fight or something.
That's what the whole thing was about. Wanting to, like,
getting that diagnosis, yeah. So I'm like, they're going to Baker Act her, some shit, and he's going to run towards her. So that was, but I thought he was gonna have to prove like I'm connected to her. How? Tell her to draw something. I'm not in the same fucking room. You know, a bird or some shit, and that was how he was gonna free her. That's honestly what I thought was gonna happen. Now, and I guess now saying it out loud, this was more impactful the way he was teaching her, to all the things that he knows about picking locks and all that stuff. But I saw that shit coming a mile away. That she was gonna be in there. I don't know how you did it.
I was thinking of another ending that was coming. What's gonna happen is they're gonna get to finally see each other, but they can never be with each other. Like, it's one of those things where they see each other from afar.
Oh, you thought
and they're so close to each other, but then it just doesn't work out somehow.
But they're always connected and gonna be with each other.
Yes, I thought it was gonna end with them.
That's fucked up.
I wouldn't have liked it at the end. If that, I could love a whole movie, and if at the end, like one of them dies or something, like Titanic, fuck that movie. Are you kidding me? I don't give a shit how great that movie is. It's trash now.
How do you feel about La La Land?
I think I know what we're doing after the show.
Oh yeah.
What's
oh
love?
yeah.
Am I gonna love it or hate it? Somebody dies. I know somebody dies.
No, but
Oh my God, that ending of La La Land is so good.
If a dog or anything dies,
no animals.
No one dies.
Oh well then. Okay.
Just watch it.
It's one of my favorite.
Okay,
movies.
It's one of the best films. No, fuck that. You're making her watch it. We saw this shit, which wasn't bad, but we still saw this.
We saw this. Okay. Cool.
Do you like?
We're
musical?
showing you on
musical.
We saw a 14-time Oscar. I hate musicals. Listen to me. I hate musicals. I hate them. La La Land is incredible. It's that good.
I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but I'm not against them either.
Oh, you're gonna love this one.
I totally was against them.
Huh?
Scott was the one that made me see La La Land. He begged me. He's like, go. And I'm like, I don't like musicals. I don't want to fucking watch this shit. I sat down. First 10 minutes of this movie, I'm like, fuck this movie. I hate it. I hate the first 10 minutes. I skip it, the beginning of this film. I hate that highway scene. I hate it. Sorry, Kyle.
I don't like it.
That's one of like my only cons in that film is that movie should have started with her like beeping in traffic with where they meet.
You're wrong about this.
Fine, that's fine.
We disagree on a lot on things, but we come together. This is the one you're just plain wrong on. That opening is incredible. And to see how I was going through film school at the time, so to see how they filmed it, bringing that camera.
I don't take that away from Damien at all. Because I've always said the one thing that I absolutely love of that film is how he shot it. There's so many scenes. The scene where they're trying to go. I haven't seen it, so the songs aren't coming to my mind. But when she doesn't want to go out with her friends and they're all that the all blue, all yellow.
See, I know.
Yeah, no. When they think someone in the crowd and the whole pool scene, that shit is fucking beautiful. Please watch that movie. It's so good. I know there's not a La La Land review. We will get to that eventually. That's another thing. We definitely review La La Land.
Next time you come on the show, this is the movie we're reviewing.
Fine. Deal. But anyway, so yeah.
All right, so next category. I'm gonna scream now. The Gary Oldman Everyone Award for Best Overacting. Jader, did you have a pick for this? Because it was a little tough for me to find some. No,
it's not that. The only one I guess is the other brother, not Shameless guy. The other one, pretty much him. To be completely Lyle. Lyle is probably the only one that I would give this award to. He was what does he call him? Dill pickle.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck him.
I'm like, all right, bro. I'm like, okay, man.
I hated that guy. He was way over top. When he gets knocked down and he comes back up and he's like,
he's just a tryhard.
I know. And he's like, am I bleeding? I'm like, get out there, man. He's the one who gets thrown in the car, too. So.
Mm-hmm.
But Jackie's got a hot take for this one.
Okay.
Listen, I feel like I'm going to catch you off guard in the beginning, but I'll explain myself. So whatever the heck her name is, she annoyed the shit out of me. Her character, listen, love the movie, love it. but she was shaking like, and I understand her character is supposed to be timid and needs to come out of her shell and all that, but like fucking give it a break. She's shaking like a chihuahua the whole time, like she's freezing cold and just like a mess. Like it was just too much. Oh, we lost him.
No, he's there. His camera's gone.
Oh, his camera's just
No,
gone.
my camera's fine. You're wrong.
Oh, okay. It's just in the beginning, it's just made me like, you're just like, oh, okay, sorry. Oh, just like it was. I understand she was supposed to be like, okay, sorry, I'm timid. Like everybody can get that way, but she was just so like, like you don't even have to act that upset.
Yeah,
chill.
put on a fucking jacket and shut up.
Like I was like a wet poodle.
Yeah, like why are you? I'm so weak and soft spoken. Oh, like you can still look depressed and like in your shell and not have to like you're a dying sick shit like all the time. I don't know. She annoyed me. Her character honestly annoyed me. I understood it after when she made her change, and then I started to like her. Maybe that was the point, to make her super annoying and then make her better. I don't.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think about that? Because as soon as she said that, I'm like, wow, like
that is a very hot take. I like that. I like that you got brave. You're wrong, but brave.
No, it was just her character was too she I don't know, she was trying too hard to play the like super insecure where like she was like could barely speak without like shaking her words like all the time. It was just a little like I don't know. It just annoyed me like okay.
What is her profession in this movie?
I don't think she just stays at home because they think she's like sick, I think.
Okay.
I don't think she does work. I think she just takes care of the house, right?
I never saw her working. She was just always out.
No, she just runs like the house and like does things for him. I mean, he's chief of medicine there. I mean, she doesn't have to work.
I guess so. No,
I'm like, did you not see her luxurious house?
But that's how he controls her too. She doesn't have friends. She can't leave. She's like, in order for her to keep staying where she's staying to have a house, she has to stay with him. It keeps, it's how they gain control,
Oh man.
Yeah.
She can't be making her own money.
So it's just you can never leave.
That's also part of her character, was probably to make sure she didn't have a job, like to show like she's stuck with him.
There's something I noticed too. The scene at the end where they're chasing the train. He's running way faster than she is, and yet they're able to get on the cart at the same time. Okay,
that is so true.
Yes, right?
So true.
He's booking it, and she's just like...
He's pulling her, and then didn't she, like, trip? Didn't one of them trip, too?
She was close.
Something.
Right?
I said she annoyed me in that scene because I feel like he's, like, running, and she's, like, trotting, and I'm like, what are you doing? Get on there. But I don't think they got on at the same time, because he was already on. He was probably like, looking at her like, come on, man, hurry up. Hurry up.
They just are too weak all the time. Like try a little.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, she's gonna miss this train. Are they getting on the same cart right now? I thought
that's also because you can't see if they're running to the same.
Yeah, I thought we would get to a point where they both hop on the cart, but they're on different carts, and like, oh, they still can't.
And then they're climbing on top of the train to get to each other or something. That would have been a cool ending too.
See, we should have rewrote this movie.
Yeah, we can do it better.
All right, interesting details. I didn't find too much on this. The most important thing I saw was that when the actors, they filmed in separate locations, obviously, but they were always on set with each other, reading the lines back and forth with each other. So when Dylan is in Arizona, Zoe Kazan is also in Arizona. She's reading her lines back and forth with them as they're doing the scene. So that's how they're able to have such good chemistry with each other, even though they're
okay.
So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I saw that Joss Whedon wrote this script in 1992 when he was 28 years old, and this movie came out in 2014. So he's had this idea for a long time. And then here's a big one. The two actors only share 56 seconds of screen time together throughout the entire film.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that totally buys out, but it's a love story about the two of them. That's what the coolest part about this movie. Like the whole romance takes place when they're not even like together the whole time. It's, I don't know, wild.
All right, are you guys ready for some trivia questions?
Oh yeah.
Jader? Here we go. Grab your whiteboards. Jader, now remember, you are a Schmodown trivia savant.
Don't give me this bullshit. I just saw this fucking movie one time. She's probably seen it a million.
I've seen it like 4 or 5 times.
Oh my god.
It's been like a year and a half since I've seen it, and I smoke a lot. I'm gonna forget.
It's fresh in your mind too.
Yeah,
so you have
it's
no
super
excuses.
fresh in your mind.
All right, let's go. Let's give it a shot.
All right. What type of business does Dylan work at? So Dylan obviously has a profession.
Am I?
No, don't do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
let him see your answer.
Oh, well then, did I already win? Are we timed?
No, you're not timed. All right.
Oh.
Well, 3, 2, 1. All right, Jacky. Car wash. Boom. All right, 1-1. Off to a good start. There's not.
This thing?
No, that's a magnet. I'll grab one in a sec. All right, question number 2. What was Dylan sent to prison for? Grab a towel or something. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jader, let's see your answer first.
I wrote a getaway driver.
And Jacky? Breaking and entering.
Robbery.
Yeah.
It is now 2-1 in favor of Jacky.
I should have done a B&E. They should have done a B&E. All right, go ahead.
All right. What state does Rebecca live in? They're in 2 separate sides of the country. What state does Rebecca live in?
That's not how you spell it, is it?
I fucking fucked that up.
Huh?
I fucked that up too.
You have to clearly you got to look at the
I don't know if I spelled it right, but I got the right place.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, we both spelled it different.
Look at that.
New Hampshire it is. All right. 3-2 in favor of Jacky. So the first time they talk with each other, one at the time. Okay. Where's Rebecca buying in the store when they first talk with each other? She's out of the store buying something. She falls down because he gets hit.
I would know this one just because of what it is.
I know, you didn't even hesitate on it. What is she buying in the store?
I feel like when you see my answer, you're like, oh, yeah, of course I remember that.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Panty.
Underwear.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote panty, same thing. Yeah.
It counts.
I was in the right lacy
All
section.
right.
We gotta Dude.
What is he doing?
What are you doing, Tim?
Yeah. Come on, Tim. All right, last question. What incident leads to Dylan and Rebecca first connecting?
What?
What incident makes them first connect with each other? I saw that smirk. All right, and 5.
Hold on, because I'm gonna write a longer answer. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. You gotta be thorough with it.
Yeah.
Now, Jader, you have to get this right, and she has to get it wrong in order for you guys to tie.
I know.
You close? You there?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm good.
You're making me second guess.
No, you're probably right. That's fine.
All right. And let's see your boards.
I wrote she hits herself on a tree sledding.
Yeah, sledding accident.
Which, by the way, we haven't talked about that. That must have hurt. Not being and you could just see that tree coming right at you. I'm surprised she didn't get hurt, like seriously hurt, where she's like paralyzed.
Because they were both like frozen up and like couldn't move at the same time. I think was she frozen with fear, or was she like she couldn't move because they were like?
No, remember she said she still had a scar, so it had to like be something bad, and he was knocked unconscious.
But before was the reason she didn't move out of the way because she was like, oh, like staring at it, and then she could have turned, but then like she was like frozen, like how he was frozen. I wonder if that was like them like starting their connection, and that's why she wasn't able to move out of the way of the tree.
Yeah.
I'm right now though. I don't know.
It felt to me like they almost switched bodies at that point.
Yeah.
And he didn't know what was happening. She didn't know what was happening. So he had just hit his head, and she fell down at the same time. I don't know. All right, Apex Mountain. The next category here.
Well, you're not even gonna congratulate her for beating me. Good job. Good job. You did a good job.
5-4 over you, Jader. I mean, it's something that she can carry with her for the rest of her life, right there. You should be very proud.
Yeah. Wait, we get La La Land.
I was paying attention. I was.
Besides missing the whole point of her getting like taken away into the
I
mental
told you I was focused on another ending. I was thinking something else was going to happen, and then it didn't.
Just missed some of the plot. Okay.
All right.
I'll get my revenge when we do La La Land. Trust me.
Oh, I know. Okay, I feel that. I feel like
Heck,
you will win.
I want to compete in trivia for that one. Are you kidding me?
Game on. I'll take both of you on. Deal.
All right.
We'll have Steve write some questions.
Yeah, Jader, do you have any cash to send us?
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
win.
we'll put it in a pool. We'll put it in a Cash App pool. Winner take all.
Deal.
All right.
That works.
Apex Mountain's our next category here. I don't know if anyone achieves their apex in this film as far as their career goes, because Zoe Kazan is you obviously think she's better in other movies.
Yeah.
The Big Sick, she's incredible in. I'm gonna go with Dylan though. Michael Stahl David is the name.
Nope.
No.
I like them more in Cloverfield. I like them more in Cloverfield. I love Cloverfield. That's probably why.
I didn't know he was in Narcos. That was
he's the main guy in Cloverfield.
I told him, and he said it's a Pedro.
Pedro Pascal, right?
They're partners. So what's the difference? They're both
in who?
Equal.
Pedro's in Narcos.
He's mustache.
Oh yeah. Wait, he's in Narcos?
Pedro Pascal is in Narcos. Isn't Diego Luna in it too? Yeah, Narcos.
Oh shit, he is in Narcos. Holy shit. I completely forgot he was in Narcos.
This guy.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So he's in Narcos, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
All right. So I'm wrong. Who else would qualify for this? I don't know if anybody does.
The director. What has he done?
What has he done? Bryn Hill. Nothing.
Read me what he's done and tell me this is not his Apex Mountain.
This was his last movie he's done. He did a movie called Ball Don't Lie. And,
that sounds stupid.
And 3 shorts.
Exactly.
Ball Don't Lie starred Ludacris and Nick Cannon. So that's funny. And he's got a movie coming out. It's in development. It's called Sure. Like his career.
Okay.
Like, do you want to make another movie?
Like his career, exactly. So Apex goes.
Hey, Bryn, do you want to make another movie? Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, this is definitely his Apex Mountain. It's not Joss Whedon. It's not Zoe Kazan. It's not the shameless guy. All right. So Bryn wins
none
this
of the
one.
Support, yeah, it's none of the supporting cast. Who else? Even the dickhead Philip, man. He was in Power, and I liked him in Power. And he was in I know he did a movie with Mel Gibson. Oh, he's in What Women Want with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And that's
Who is he?
He always plays a dick.
He's the boy. He's the husband in this movie.
The husband.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer Grey. I mean, Dirty Dancing. Come on.
Yeah, Jennifer Grace. Definitely not Jennifer Grace.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question then. Who won the movie? When we walk out of this movie, who are we thinking is the best person in this? Who walks away from this movie as the winner? Jacky, this is your movie. I'm going to start with you here. Who won this movie?
I'm torn because Zoe's character, just something about her just annoys me. I just love the story, but her character, I think about her finally getting out of that situation, how she got saved. I don't know. Every girl wants that. I don't know. I want to fall in love like she did and like have like the whole hero.
Do you not like Zoe because you wanted to be with Dylan instead?
I mean, kind of, to be honest. Kind of. I don't know. Just something about her character annoyed me. Like the way she played her character, I guess, but like her character itself, like everything she overcame and like her new life, like with him and being the person she wants. Like that's like the biggest deal.
So, all right. So who wins then?
Her.
She does win? Okay. Jader? Love.
Love wins the film, man. Love wins the film. Honestly, I don't know if there's any real winners in this movie, to be completely honest with you. It's not everybody's best work. Again, it's kind of goes hand in hand with Apex. I mean, if we're gonna talk about who's the best character in the movie, I want to say both of them. Their chemistry was great, and it kept me watching. But did they win I guess their chemistry. if anything. That's going to be my answer, as cliche and
What
plain as it sounds.
or anything.
The sci-fi romance, is that the winner of this movie? Like, is
Yeah, like honestly, it just
better than the time travel?
For a movie that I promise you I had no interest in watching, where I honestly watched it 2 hours before the show because I'm like, fuck, I have to do the show. Like, I'm like, let me watch this movie now. No, and honestly, no, it's not only that. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Time it's been crazy for the past week.
Mhm.
But once he told me, because I'm like, all right, maybe she'll pick a movie that I haven't visited or been wanting to visit, and I'm like,
My next movie would be more like.
and then he was like, oh, we're gonna watch this movie called In Your Eyes, and I'm like, what the
I
fuck
thought
is that?
you guys didn't know what it was, and it wasn't like your usual thing.
No,
And I was
it's actually a good pick. Again, overall, didn't hate this film. I actually liked it. I don't know if I'll revisit it like as much as you did. But
every time I get dumped, I watch it. So hopefully I don't have to watch it anytime soon.
So that's what happened. So I'm like, where do I see this movie? He's like, it's on YouTube. I'm like, it's on YouTube movie? What the fuck?
When he told me that, I was devastated. I was like, well, it was on Netflix. Okay, it's a great movie.
Yeah, but you know, I was pleasantly surprised, you know, and I don't know if I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I like any new movie or not new movie. No, that's bullshit because I shit on a lot of movies. I just for someone that had no interest in watching and not knowing anything that I was about to watch, because again, I went in there blindly, you know, and once it again from the very beginning when they were, I'm like, oh, that's weird. What happened there? The kid and the little girl, and then right there where he's turning up the radio and she's buying her underwear or whatever. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, they're connecting, but how? It was more of the how that kept me watching. And I guess that's kind of why I was disappointed with the ending, because we never got that answer. But overall, I want to say, 80% of this movie is actually really watchable and very entertaining. And it's actually very endearing. You're like, oh shit, I hope these people do. I wonder how, when they meet, how it's going to happen, how it's going to play out, So yeah, I mean, love wins. They win, I guess. Both of them, their chemistry. I thought they had really good chemistry, even though they weren't on screen with each other, which was, it's hard to do. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, final thoughts. What about you?
I mean, I'll say this to end it off. You cut out for a second, but I'll say this to end it off. I was pleasantly surprised too. I honestly was. I had a good time watching. I was intrigued. I barely had my phone out the entire time. I like when people fall in love, when there's a good connection right there. It's natural when they're escaping bad relationships and going to a good one. And it's like, it's good people coming together to form something better. And that's what I really appreciated about it. So I know you say you're probably not going to watch it again. I might throw it on if it's on Netflix, if they bring it back. Like, I'm not going to go into YouTube and search it, but if it's on Netflix, if I see it in a bargain bin at Walmart, I might pick it up,
Damn, bro, really?
Why not?
I like it. No, I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying. I'm like,
damn. I'm going to buy it just
for you. I'll gift wrap it for you.
I will throw it in your face. No, I'm just kidding. I'll accept it. I'll be like, all right, well, that's cool.
We can do it as
it'll probably still be sealed, but it's the thought that counts. I said it'll probably never be like unsealed, but I'll probably, it'll just be there in the collection.
Jacky, thoughts on this movie?
Well, I love it, but you've obviously seen Frozen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you know how that's like another movie where it's like a love movie, but the love it isn't about a prince saving the girl. It's about like loving, like the sisterhood love. And like saving yourself and stuff like that. And then with this movie, not only did they fall in love, they saved each other, but it was also about self-growth. And they had to make each other themselves better before their connection grew, and before, like, they helped make each other better while also making themselves better. And then they were able to be together and fall in love and realize that the situations they were in and the people, like the versions of themselves that they were being, isn't who they needed to be. They both changed so much. I don't know. It's about self-growth and love.
I love that you mentioned that about Frozen. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely loved the first Frozen movie. I thought that was such a great touch and something so different that hadn't been done before. Shrek showed us that love. No, I'm telling you, like Shrek showed us that love. It's not all about beauty because she was trying to be Fiona, and then she was an ogre, and that's who we fell in love with. So I always go back to Shrek in the first film because of that. I loved that even when that movie came out, when I don't remember. I think I was like 12 or 13 when that movie came out. Shut up, both of you, because I know I'm older than you. But when that movie came out, I'm like, man, that is such a beautiful message. And then Frozen, seeing that for the first time, and now seeing it, and I saw that, but I didn't grasp it as much as how you just explained it. Where I'm like, it is a story about self-love and self-growth, and that just knocked it up a couple points right there, because I do like that.
Remember when we did I Love You Man with Steph, and she said something that kind of just opened our eyes?
Yeah, we're like, oh shit, like they both need each other? What?
Yes. So his girlfriend mentioned something that we were like, holy shit, we never looked at it that way. And then you just did kind of the same thing. Like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. So that is In Your Eyes, everybody. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Jader and Kyle Show. Jacky, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a good time. Jader, how did she do?
She's coming back. So she did great.
Back. We're watching La La Land. We're going to make it happen. Jacky, we just here. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, you can add me on Instagram, Jaxxy, JXXYY21.
Why are you so complicated, girl?
I don't know how you find people on here. It's my first podcast.
She's doing great.
She's doing great. You're good.
On there, is there anything else you got going on you want people to know about? Can they follow you along on your journey through Florida anywhere?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess Instagram or on Facebook, but
don't give out your
well, absolutely not.
But yeah, Jacky, we had a great time with you on the show, and you are more than welcome back. Jader, is there any last things you want to say?
Nope, that's it. I'm done for the day. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't think I have. I've been so lost. So I know I have a Schmodown match coming. My team's tournament debut with Brandon Hanna. He's been a guest on the show. I don't know when that is, but it's coming soon. I think it's coming within the next week, so make sure you look out for that. Look out obviously for us on this channel for our next movie, which we don't know what we're going to do, but I promise you it's going to be a great episode because all our episodes are amazing. And that's it. Follow me on Instagram, InfamousJ13. On Facebook, you guys already know, Jader Paramo. Twitter, InfamousJ13. And that's it. That's all I use.
That's right. And we're going to be back consistently starting next week. We're going to be doing our show back normally. We just had a busy week last week, but we're back to it now. And we have a movie draft coming up, Jader. Don't forget that. We got to make sure that happens. Get excited.
Oh, it's going to happen. Right. It's going to happen.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Jader and Kyle